Time was done in the state of Pennsylvania, and then we moved. My husband took a job running a metals stamping company in Connecticut, so we moved to Connecticut, and I became the elementary school nurse in Southbury, Connecticut. Then unfortunately, on May 1st, 2002, everything would change in a split second when I took my kids for an outdoor takeout treat after school. An elderly man with no feelings from his knees to his toes mixed up his brake and his gas, and within a fraction of a second, I was hit, pinned, and driven into a wooden structure. As you can imagine, I would have told you that all of my critical care years were to benefit those that I saved. But at that moment in time, I knew that it was all about saving my own life. All my years of knowledge needed to be put to good use at that point in time. My first hospital stay was 3.5 months in length. I had 30 surgeries in the first year. I spent 5 full years in a wheelchair. I ended up with MRSA and VRE in my bones in my left tibia and of the lower leg. I ended up having a Lizer-off device put on my leg, which looks like this. That was on my right leg as I regrew and stabilized that bone. And then much later, that would be taken off too early, and my entire right lower leg bowed. It needed to be cut apart again, the bone that is, and I had to start all over. I ended up then getting what was called a Taylor spatial frame, which looks like this, on both of my lower legs. I had one on my right leg for 5 full years, and on my left leg for 7 years. By the time I was going to my last leg surgery, I was working with a limb lengthening specialist who had moved from Baltimore, Maryland to West Palm Beach, Florida, and his name is Dr. Dror Paley. He's world-renowned in limb lengthening. That last surgery that I was going to was surgery number 51. I had to learn how to sit. I had to learn how to stand. I had to learn how to walk. It's incredible how quickly things change when you can't move for yourself. The night before I was leaving for my last leg surgery, I was in New Jersey at our house at the beach. I was bending over to remove my sports bra, and I found a lump in my right breast. 6 weeks later, and 1 more surgery, and I got the diagnosis that I had invasive ductal carcinoma stage 2. And the pathology report said they hadn't taken a big enough margin and I needed more surgeries. As you can imagine, I'm not a lucky person. I had many, many complications. I would develop seromas. That's an area where tissue's removed and your body tries to fill the dead space in with fluid. When the fluid accumulates in there, it becomes infected, and you develop a seroma. I believe I had 3 seromas. And my plastic surgeon finally said, Kim, we have to take an ace bandage and we have to wrap it around your chest as tight as you can tolerate. And when you're in too much pain, you'll know to take it off and reapply it. My self-esteem was shot after that many surgeries, and the disfigurement of my legs was awful. I felt like I didn't have a break. I went right from the accident to the breast cancer. I really missed nursing, and I knew that possibly if I started using my brain again in a way that could help people, that maybe I could find some joy and fulfillment in that. Now I can sew. I've been sewing since I was probably in middle school. So I decided, you know what, I'll research fabric. I was a runner before my accident. and I really used water-wicking clothing